what we're doing every time we get together on this class is we're working toward developing you guys into leaders. And part of our leadership program, we've got 3 pillars: belief, love, and resiliency. And just like we talked about last week, right now we're focused on that belief pillar and building out our self-confidence and understanding more what goes in self-confidence and how we develop it. So, but last week we did our high school introductions. We saw Crew, we saw Boston, we saw Alex. So now let's work on, we've got a few less people. So I'm going to undo this really quick. How many of you are in 8th grade? How many of you go into 8th grade? 8th graders. Who's my 8th graders? Who's my 7th grade? Ezra? Yep. Who's my 7th graders? Monty, Ben.
Wait, going into 7th?
Yeah, going into 7th. Going into 7th. Okay, let's do some introductions. So we're going to start with Ben, introduction, and then so who you are and one thing you love about yourself. We're getting used to talking about ourselves, what we love about ourselves, which is difficult. We heard about that last week. So your name and something that you love about yourself. Ben, we'll go Ben, Ezra, Monty, Brighton. Ben.
Okay, so my name is Ben. I'm going into 8th grade, not 7th. And one thing I love about myself is my drive to like achieve good things on and off the field of play and in school, and just like have good relationships with people.
I love it. 100%, Ben. I see that through and through, man. You've been an awesome member of the program, and 100% I see that. Ezra. You're on mute, Ezra. Ezra, you're on mute.
My name's Ezra, and I like doing things, and I love about myself that I like doing things that are fun.
You do. You love things that are fun. If I had to describe Ezra with one word, it'd be fun. 100%. Monty, what you got?
My name is Monty. I'm going in 8th grade, and one thing that I like about myself is that I always push myself to do things.
Yeah, you do. 100%. 100%. Monty, I love it. Brighton.
My name's Brighton, and one thing that I love about myself is how I'm athletic and outgoing, and if I put my mind to it, I can do whatever I want to.
Yes, you can. You keep telling yourself that. Yes, you can. Hey, Ford, what grade are you going into, dude?
I'm going into 6th.
6th grade? Oh man, we're gonna catch you next week. We're gonna
Okay.
catch you next week. How about you, Tyson?
Going into my freshman year.
Okay, let's hit you up. So we hit freshman year guys last week. So let's get a quick intro from you.
My name's Tyson, and one thing I like about myself is I work very hard at basketball. I think I have a hard work ethic, and that I push myself.
I love it, dude. Coming off a championship, it's paying off, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I love it, man. Awesome. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys sharing, putting you on the spot a little bit. I know it's a little bit nerve-wracking at times, but you're doing it, and I appreciate you guys. So we're going to get into the lesson. There we go. So quick review. Last week, Tyson and Austin, we talked about what makes you you. It's your body, your mind, and your soul. And our goal is to get all 3 of those moving in the same direction. However, the soul and the mind are kind of in conflict at times because your mind is your ego. And your mind is what absorbs the world and is how you navigate this world, but it also is how you present yourself in the world. And so your ego is always kind of on the defensive and always making sure that you look your best in front of people, but it also kind of makes you fearful to go on the offensive and attack. And if we relate this to sports, going out one-on-one, D'ing up with people, and possibly setting yourself up for embarrassment in the early, knowing that you're going to get better late, but your ego prevents you from doing that and continuing to get better because it doesn't want to look bad. So we talked about those 2 things. And then we got into disbelief, and we all raised our hand that all of us, myself included, we have struggled, or we struggle at times with not believing in ourselves. It's natural, it's normal, and it's human nature. And we're all We all have that, and it's okay. And so once we recognize that and we can see it happening, if we can see it happening, then we can pivot and tell that part of us, hey, knock it off. This is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. And so it's normal. Last week, we ended with the challenge to see if anybody could recognize just some of the thoughts that their ego or their mind would tell them. So a lot of you guys had games, some of you guys had practice. And I'll give you an example of myself. So this week, we were down in Las Vegas, we had to do some activities. And one of the activities was we had to perform in front of a lot of people on the spot, not a whole lot of practice. So do you think I was a little bit nervous to do that in front of people? Heck yeah, I was actually scared. I didn't want to do it. The ego inside of me was like, do not do this. You're going to embarrass yourself. And I did embarrass myself, but it was okay. And I was literally telling myself, I just told everybody in the call last week that it's okay. And I had to do that to myself, and I'm 44 years old. So no matter where you're at in life, you're going to have this kind of ego check with yourself, and you just got to get used to dealing with it. So let's turn this over really quick. Did anybody from last week's challenge, those of you guys that played games or had to perform, or even getting dressed for the day, did your ego tell you, oh man, I don't want to wear that with that because they clash and I need to look good, right? Depending on the shoes I got to wear. All that stuff applies. So who has an example of when their ego, Ben, yeah, go ahead.
So on Friday, I went to Trailside and I did the bike park with some of my friends. Brand new bike. It was my first time riding it. And I had like zero experience in the bike park. And there were a lot of like really good people there. And I felt a little like overwhelmed because I was with all my friends and I wanted to make a good impression. But I couldn't do any of like the jumps and stuff. And my ego was telling me, don't do this. Try not to look bad. But while they went up and rode the tougher stuff, I kind of stayed down at the bottom. I worked on the jumps, and when they came back, I had like improved a lot. And now I'm hitting like the toughest jumps they have. So my ego was telling me to not do it, but I just wanted to improve and not care what people thought of me.
I love it, man. That ego was surface level, but underneath your soul was telling you, hey, Ben, you got this. This is how you get better. And you overrode your ego like that. I love it. Perfect example. I saw Ford with his hand up.
For me, like I had some games over the weekend, and on defense, I think it's easy to like when everybody's kind of like calling out which person they have. I think it's easy to like call out the person who's not necessarily as talented, or like that you could probably, even if like you think you might be better on someone on your team, you kind of want to get the worst guy on the other team so that you kind of don't get embarrassed by potentially, getting beat.
Right.
And so my ego is kind of telling me, take the worst guy, you won't embarrass yourself. But in reality, it was kind of like, I'll help my team more if I get the toughest guy.
So what did you do, Ford?
I tried to get the toughest guy most of the time.
I love it. That's what you do. And you get better practicing against weaker talent or better talent?
Better talent.
Better talent all day long. All day long. I love it. Anybody else with an example? Okay, we'll keep moving. Those are perfect examples, guys. So tonight, we're going to just talk about how we can override that mind, that ego, and it's a constant battle and how you talk, and you got to train yourself and you got to override that. We're going to do a little shout out. We're going to do a little video clip to Cool Runnings, the movie. How many of you guys have seen Cool Runnings? Ooh, yes. We'll do a quick activity. We'll journal about it. We'll discuss it, and we'll wrap it up, and we'll be done. So we got to take control. You're talking to yourself or you're listening to yourself. And in this case, the listening to yourself is that mind is constantly going. It's always telling you something based off of what you're perceiving. And so you have to be able to quiet this mind, this one, and and talk to it, just like Ford did, just like Ben did. Hey, listen, you may be telling me not to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. And so what you do is you teach yourself through practice and through discipline and through consistency how to quiet, or just how to just ignore this and talk over here, and you tell it what you're going to do, because you talk from within. This is your mind, but deep inside of you, that's the voice that you want to listen to, and that's the voice that you want to speak from. And it's about taking action and challenging those negative thoughts. We all have them. Like, we all have negative thoughts. It's just part of our daily occurrence. And you just have to challenge yourself and say, hey, you got to knock that off, and you got to be constructive in the way that you talk to yourself. Because if you listen to your mind is surface level. It's just going to take what everybody is doing, and it just wants to fit in. Okay, and it's passive, and it can be negative. A lot of times it's negative and it's destructive, and it wants you to stay safe. All right, if we took this back into tribal days and we were in our teepee, right, it wants you to stay in your teepee, right, hang out, eat some meat, play, right? It doesn't want you to get out of that teepee and go hunt for the meat, but the tribe needs to hunt, all right? And you got to get out and challenge yourself, and you got to get that spear, you got to get that bow and arrow, you got to get that horse, and you got to go across the plains or wherever and find those buffalo. And it takes effort, just like this. It takes effort. You got to challenge yourself to get outside that teepee and go, okay? So a perfect example of this is from the movie Cool Runnings. So those of you that have seen it, how many of you have not seen Cool Runnings? Brighton, Austin, Ben. So Tyson. Jamaica has a bobsled team. How much snow does Jamaica get? None. Yeah, none. It's crazy. So back in the day, somebody had the crazy idea that they're going to make a bobsled team. So they had to come, figure it out, understand snow. Well, this team came to the United States and they were practicing, but one of the members of the bobsled team, his dad thought he was nuts and was telling him to come back to Jamaica, be in the family business. And he didn't really believe in himself, and he was wishy-washy, wasn't sure what to do. And so his internal dialogue was telling him, hey, this is ridiculous. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. Go back to Jamaica where you know. Go back to your teepee where you're comfortable and just ride out your life. But inside, he knew there was something bigger for him, but he didn't know how to say it. And so in this clip, you're going to see a perfect example of listening to yourself or talking to yourself. So give me 1 second. Where?
Cool Runnings.
Oh, here we go. Yep, correct. Share sound. Okay, I want you to look at his body language. I want you to look at the way his demeanor, and then I want you to pretend the guy that's talking to him is his soul. His soul is trying to rise up and talk to his ego. Okay? Here we go.
Now look in the mirror and tell me what you see.
I see Junior.
You see Junior. Well, you want to know what I see? I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap of nobody.
You really see all that?
Yeah, man. But it's not about what I see. It's about what you see. Now look in this mirror and tell me again what you see.
Well, I see
Pride.
pride. Right.
Power.
Power. And I see
A badass mother who
who
don't
won't take no
no
crap off of nobody.
Again.
I see pride.
Can't hear you.
I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap off of nobody.
Once again.
I see pride.
Junior.
I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap off of nobody.
That's right.
Right. Junior Bevel.
Oh, I love it. That speaks to exactly what we're doing. Who noticed the body language from start to finish? What do you guys see? What do you see, Thomas? Unmute yourself.
Okay, so what I saw is that at first he was like this, standing down. I see pride, I see power. After his teammate started enforcing him to say it with more pride, he completely walked out the room like a different person.
He did, didn't he? He was a different person. He spoke from his soul. But did he believe it in the beginning? Who the guy was talking to him? Did he believe it? No, he didn't believe it. And it takes time, and it takes evolving as you guys are evolving right now, and you are learning, and you got to keep that internal dialogue, and that's going to teach you. But there's going to be a lot of times where you don't believe it, and then you start telling yourself, and you stand different, you talk different, people recognize you as different. So I got. There we go. So, the way you talk to yourself matters. The way you talk in your head matters. The way you verbalize yourself matters. And so what we're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to do this lesson for yourself, but I'm going to do what I see, okay? I see strength. I see honor. I see a divine being born to inspire others. I see strength. I see honor. I see a divine being born to inspire others. I see strength. I see honor. I see a divine being born to inspire others. You see how that goes? I literally believe it right now because of the conviction that I'm speaking from. So what I want you guys to do, we're going to take 1 minute. I want you guys, if you're with a sibling, you're going to go find a bathroom or a mirror, and I want you to go look in the mirror. Everybody's going to go, and I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to look at yourself in the eyes, and I want to see, what do you see? And you're going to come back, and we're going to write this stuff down. But what do you see? So 1 minute, okay, count maybe 30 seconds while you're staring at yourself in the mirror. And what do you see? I want you to look deep inside of you, okay? Deep inside of you, and go see what you see. Ready, go. 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 Go find that mirror. You got 90 seconds. Go. Yeah, go.
I love it,
Yeah.
and I love the other aspect of that of being a good teammate, right? So that guy was cheering him on, building him up.
100%.
That's something that I want my boys to do too. Is they're so quiet, and I think they can share so much and be such a good leader by helping some of those other guys and telling how good they are and trying to uplift them.
I love it.
I think that helps a
It
lot.
takes a team, man. It takes a team. Go.
Badass mother. You ain't gonna take no shit from nobody.
I know. I love that movie.
I love that movie too. Brought back memories.
Okay, if you got a pen and paper handy, Tyson and Austin, if you got something really quick, go grab it. But I want you guys to write down, and if not, it's no big deal. But if you got time, go grab a pen and paper and write down what you just saw. What did you see? And it may be just a glimpse of something, and maybe just a feeling that you felt. Maybe it's not exact, right? It's taken me time to feel strength and honor and a divine being that's here to inspire others. It's taken me a lot of time to get to this point. So you guys are exploring, and just find some adjectives that you found when you looked at yourself. Who are you? What are you? That's the important question, but what are you?
I can write it down on my phone if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, put it on your phone. You could do all 3 lines, right? I did I see strength, I see honor, I see a statement, or you could just do the statement line, or you could just write down some things that you see. Anybody want to share? Ford, did you write something down?
Yeah, I wrote one thing down. I'm still working on my other ones.
I like it. What did you write? Do you mind sharing? You don't have to share.
I wrote, wait.
You're good, dude.
I can share.
Yeah, go ahead, crew.
I couldn't get a sentence one, but I said I see leadership and I see confidence.
Love it. Exactly. Leadership and confidence. Austin, what do you got?
I see power, I see success, and I see mentality.
Yes, you do, man. I love that. All 3 of those things. Excellent. I love this. Anybody else want to share? Those are great. Austin, I love that. Crew, I love that. And so when you got to speak, as you guys develop this, okay, I want you guys to practice this next week. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take 10 seconds. We don't oftentimes just stare at ourselves. Just stare. Who do you see? And just do a quick check-in. Who are you? What do you see? What are you all about? Below this, inside of this, your heart and in your gut and in your spirit, that's what needs to manifest itself. And that's what you need to practice. And that's what your teammates want to see. That's what you need to be able to encourage. When you speak from that leadership position, okay, not everybody is going through a self-confidence building class. Not everybody has the tools and the assets that you guys have mentally and physically, all right? The ability to carry yourself also spreads conviction throughout your team, throughout your castmates, whoever you're with, okay? That's called, that attitudes are infectious. And when you speak and you posture because you believe in yourself, because you've done the work, that carries through to everybody, all right? But you have to believe it. And the more that you take time to say these things to yourself, whether it's an internal dialogue or a verbal dialogue, all of that gets brought out in your demeanor, in your play, in your countenance, and how you interact with people. And you become a source of leadership towards everybody that you're around. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay. So let's talk about our takeaways. Anybody have anything that they want to add at the end of this? Anybody got something before we kind of go to our takeaways? Last slide. Okay, so week 1, it's normal. Disbelief is normal. Our ego is loud, our soul is quiet. And so today we talked about being able to override that ego mentality by speaking from the soul through our body with those affirmations, with those I see statements. So this week, I want you guys to keep working on those I see statements. Keep building those out. What do you see? This is just the beginning, right? Leadership, mentality, confidence, success. You guys keep manifesting that stuff, and that stuff will happen, but you just got to work towards it. And then tell yourself this stuff every single day, because the world is difficult and the world is going to try to challenge you and test you and try you. And so you've got to have this foundation of belief in yourself, and then you can believe in your teammates and believe in your goals and believe in where you guys are headed, and you guys can help lead them in that direction. But it starts with you. So you guys keep it up. I believe in you. Okay. I believe in you. That's why we're doing this. I understand what the human spirit is all about. I'm just a little bit further ahead than you guys, and I'm just trying to give back and help you guys make those positive steps forward and help you progress a little bit earlier, faster in life. So you guys keep it up. We're going to do this again on Sunday. We're going to go back to our Sunday nights, okay, at 8:30 this week. Work on those IC statements this week. I appreciate you guys. Go get after it. Have a great week and believe in yourself. I believe in you. Go believe in yourself. And you guys have a great night.
Thank you, Brandon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Uncle
you.
Brandon.
Guys.
Thank you, Brandon. Love you,
Bye.
bud.
Bye.
Bye, Uncle
Bye,
Brandon.
Austin.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, Ty. Good
Yeah.
seeing you guys.